Good evening. This is Hotline 21. Speak on it. A live and active opportunity for you to view an audience to call in and speak to the issues that we got here. As some of you all know, this is the last program for this quarter, so we won't be here next week, and we'll probably be back possibly in the spring. But periodically we will do something probably the fourth Friday of every month before we go into the 19. Just needed to tell you that. We really appreciate the fact that you all have been helpful. You have participated in this process, and that's what it's about for us. Speak on it for us is really an opportunity for the community to actually get it out, to actually express some of what we be talking about in our own heads in the mirror. The Retro Current team is actually that. Pull over here a little bit so they can see you. Can you get in this picture here? I'm gonna try to show you my young man here. This young man here has been the brother. Even if you just have to that's right, do that. Tell them hi, man.
Hey, how y'all doing? I had a good time doing this show. I'll see y'all in the spring.
All right. I like this young man. He gets here on his own. He sit here, he do the Facebook. Young man comes a long ways on the bus. Responsible. One day, he'll be sitting here doing him. So when we say Retro Current team, I'm retro, be clear. He's current. And together, we are a team. Now, let's get straight to it. Show them this receipt here. My brother put some on Facebook the other day from 1960. That, what you see, is a poll tax receipt. See, Negroes, not long ago, 1960, my daddy, my grandfather, they had to pay a tax in order to vote. See, y'all don't want to get real here. But since the election is coming up and this is our last time to deal with this, he had to pay $1.75 to vote. Other people had to count bubbles of soap and other things. So when I was talking to my daughter last night, she was saying, yeah, I'm gonna vote, da-da-da-da-da. She gonna vote for who she gonna vote for, I'm gonna vote for who I gotta vote for, but I liked it in her because she is determined to vote. She full grown. So it's a tradition with us to vote. And those of you that say you don't want to vote, that it don't count, you just remember, 1960, my father, I'm talking about generationally, he had to pay $1.75. Think about that. Now, they had to pay more than that, and people all over this country during this election cycle have been disenfranchised, have not been allowed to vote. Come election day, a lot of people will be played with and they vote won't count, but they got to vote. So that's why we need people to understand. Don't take this for granted. I don't care who you vote for. The point is, you gotta go do that. So much for that. We vote because people paid the price. You see what I'm saying? They paid the price. All this talking, you saw that receipt. This is real. Now, the other night I was looking at the debate. I was entertained. Man, that hour and a half went so fast. I enjoyed the debate. I really did. Then I hear people, particularly on the radio, all these little clowns they got on radios thinking they commentators, they need to go somewhere and just shut up, man. That's your opinion. But anybody to call in and didn't support who they was talking about, man, they just slammed them and talked crazy. Show us who they say won the election, won the debate. Now, they got a poll that says, statistically, CNN or whatever, somebody did a poll that says, statistically, Ms. Clinton won the debate. 62 and Trump, 27. That's what they say. Now, I don't know how that's going to turn out. But then I went to one of the local newspapers, mainstream newspapers, and they had an editorial that was saying something real serious. And what they were saying was that, it might not be what we think. And even at night, they say it's almost too close to call. So I say this so let us not be distracted. Do not sit here and think that everything that what you want to happen, you at least did what you had to do. Yeah, they were talking about, well, the electoral college. Don't worry about all that. Just go vote. You can't find it? Hell, it ain't far. Now, let me tell you something. Come November the 8th, you really need to take a few minutes on that day and remember your ancestors. People paid for you. Not only $1.75, but some people paid with their life. This ain't no I can and I can't. This is a privilege that you might not have. Matter of fact, every 7 years, Congress, they have to revote to extend the Negro. The only group of people in this country that they have to decide every 7 years whether or not we are worthy to vote. So don't take this thing for granted. You got my flavor. Yes, caller, speak on it. Caller?
Good evening, Dr. Malik.
How are you, sir?
A little crazy, too. When you think about it, every week, maybe every day, you vote when you go spend your money.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm looking at this new Inglewood court they call, and from going on Halsey going north and south and down 63rd going east and west, a lot of times it's crowded.
Yeah.
And I'm telling myself this, all right? Now, if the people in the area pay attention to what's going on, they can reap the benefits of it. Because anytime you have money coming in, it can have a positive effect. Look down at Chinatown, all right? That could be sort of like our Chinatown if we are smart and take advantage of it. And that means we can have more business will come into a community. If we take it at one time, I'm a little bit of a historian like you are. At one time, there was a Sears there. And Sears brought a lot of business in. And I'm seeing all these white folks coming over there in that area as well because they got the Starbucks and the Chipotle and the other stuff as well. Now, if we are smart, we take advantage of what's going on. And don't let it get out of our hands. That's all I wanted to say.
Well, and I appreciate that. I looked at that and I almost used that as part of the discussion tonight, but I'm glad you brought it up. Let's be clear. They did not bring a Whole Foods to 63rd and Halstead. And they did not bring a new Kennedy King to 63rd and Halstead unless they got a plan. Believe me. And it's good because I remember too. Because, I've been working that area for a long time and it's sad how it slipped. But a lot of areas slipped, like you mentioned once before about Jewtown out on 12th on Roosevelt. Man, I mean, that used to be straight up. I don't know. I don't know. Trash town. I don't even know why they called it Jewtown. Hell, it wasn't nothing but a junkyard. But we was there every Sunday. People was making money. But look at it now. So things change. But things won't change unless we go out and vote to be sure that the change don't change us. Don't shortchange us. You got to do this. This thing here is serious. Because it is going to change. Not only in Inglewood, they talking about Inglewood going to become the new Hyde Park. It's quite possible. Whole Foods ain't no joke. I don't know who going to be buying that something to eat. Boy, they be sort of high up in there. You have to go up in there with some money in your pocket. Call, speak on it.
Yeah, like you said, Doc, how can, like that football player you said, how things can get great. And like you said, what y'all said is true, Doc. You and that football player, that one play for the Denver Broncos. And like you said, but both of y'all is right. But y'all tell the truth, Doc. Yeah, you're still doing a good job, Doc.
Thank you, James. Appreciate it. Now, so much for that. But I wanna just remind you, without injecting a lot of personal stuff. When they say make America great again, we have to be careful with that because we don't know what they mean. When they say law and order, we have to be careful with that because we really don't know what that mean. Because some of y'all might remember in Philadelphia back in 1980-something, might have been 85, the MOVE movement. And these American people came through there and they bombed those people, killed about 11 people. That was part of what they thought was great. I mean, they bombed the whole community. So with people shooting people on their eyes and high, and people doing a lot of the crazy stuff they doing, you be careful. Yeah, I know she said some things, he said some things, but in the end, it ain't about who's a Republican and who's a Democrat. It's about who you will be able to live with. But it ain't gonna be the same, y'all. Your little happy days, and we had a black president, okay, all that was good, but in the end, his legacy, right along and now, his legacy in Chicago is all these killings, all of this unemployment, all of this hatred. That's his legacy. So you need to get somebody in there that's gonna get a new legacy. That's employment. That's equal education in this day. That's justice. That's the police stop killing us just because they want to. That's what you gotta think about. But you gotta vote. Now, caller, speak on it. Caller?
Yes, how you doing, Doc?
Fine, thank you.
Ray. This is Ray.
Yes, sir, Ray.
I have a question for you.
Leave it there.
Wouldn't it be better maybe that if the President of the United States, who launched his career from Chicago, came and talked to some of the people on the west side and the south side, instead of, he ignored Chicago, you know that. And then the show before this, I called, and I asked the question, and the guy told me, well, he is coming to Chicago. He's not going to talk to the west side and the south side people. He's coming here to raise money for a Democrat. Now, what kind of answer is that? How are we ever going to fix Chicago if the president, you could do the most for our city, can help us? Thank you, Doc.
Well, thanks a lot, Ray, and I think that's a very good question. I think what happened is, and we said it before, no, we did not expect President Obama to come here, walk the streets, and stand on corners like me. No, that ain't what we talking about. We know he's the president of the whole United States. But it would appear to a lot of us that that was an opportunity that really, really did not serve history, our ancestors, correctly. And maybe because his ancestors were not slaves in America, maybe he didn't feel what we felt. But I would have really, what I would have thought, I actually thought that Miss Clinton should have been president 8 years ago, be in and now, and he coming into being about 55 should be running for president now. That's how it should have went. And that's what the problem is here. Didn't nobody expect him to get elected. She was supposed to get elected then. It was supposed to be his term coming up. But they got out of order. And because they got out of order, we got a hell of a mess. Because, see, he's the right age to be president right now. Conditions are just right for him to be president right now. But for her, it's a little awkward. And because it got out of order, you got a Trump here that creating all type of confusion. Caller, speak on it.
Hello, Dr. Malik. I just had to call. I made it to my destination. I really don't know exactly what's going on, but I just wanted to call and commend you because you always keep it 100. You always do a very good show. You speak your mind all the time, and I just wanted to call and tell you what such a good job you have done. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. You know, sometimes people be in other places, and I really appreciate that because we try. And, you know, we know we be looking sort of crazy, but that ain't got nothing to do with the message. It is what it is. Call. Speak on it.
Dr. Malik, I want to ask you this question, okay? Once the president out of office, do you think he's really going to come back to Chicago? Just think about it for one moment, because his family already put down a house in California, what they call President Valley. And people thinking he coming back. I think, you know, he's kissing Chicago goodbye.
Yeah, I think you're right. I don't blame him. I wouldn't come back either. What the hell are you coming back here for?
I want to make this other point.
Right.
Why not live in some place like New York City where he could do those speeches and he be making, like, since he's like the first black president, every time he goes somewhere, he could make $500,000 or $1 million a speech like the Clintons did.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, put that up. Now, let me tell you something.
Okay.
You know, we need to, that's a good piece there. We need to face this. He don't owe us nothing. He don't owe us to come back here. But if he couldn't do whatever he think coming back here, or whatever we think him coming back here is going to get done, we being very naive. If he couldn't do it as the president, man, don't come back here fumbling around with somebody else's work. Go somewhere and sit down. Do you. But you ain't the president, so if you couldn't do it when you had the power to do it, don't tell me now that you're a citizen and you can use what used to be power to get something done. No, I hope the man go on and do whatever he's going to do. I wish him long life, health, and great success. But to come back here and do what? Keep it moving. Call, speak on it.
Yes, Doc, I must ask you, is this the last show of the series?
Yes, sir, Ray, it is. I'm a little bit perplexed, but this is where it worked. We will go to 19, and we'll be doing something there periodically, and once or twice, a month between now and the next quarter. We'll get here. We won't be doing a series, but we'll be here because you can't do what we're trying to do and then you be down for the next 9 months. You can't get it done like that. You got to be visible.
And I want to know if you got any shows coming up on like Saturday and Sunday, like before, with the other guys that you were on with. The great, them are great. I mean, you're great too. You're the best. But without the other guys, you get a few more different kind of ways to look at things. But
yes, sir.
Like Boise and the lawyer, the Hispanic lawyer, and Matthews. You guys gonna come back?
Yeah. I mean, they training everybody now. They made a move, so everybody's going through the retraining. And as soon as everything get in place down here at the studio, we will be coming back. And I mean, we'll be coming back probably a little different than we were. But we will be coming back on Channel 19, and we will be doing some Saturday stuff at least. And whenever we can, we'll do what we can with 21. Now, I understand, I don't think there's another caller, so let's switch gears. Okay, there's another call in tonight. I'm going to try to get as many callers done as possible. So, caller, speak on it. Caller?
Hello?
Yes.
I've been enjoying your show.
Thank you.
But I just want to make a comment.
Yes.
Most blacks have had a hard life, and they had to make success. And most of the Afro-American people think that the President Obama owed them something. But to me, he was the example to Afro-American and black people that if he can become successful, they can put forth some effort and try to become successful themselves. Because I'm from the Deep South, and I know I had to pull myself up by my bootstraps, going to business for myself, and my mother had 8 children on public aid, and go back to school and own property and do what I had to do. So, I mean, we got to stop looking at what Obama didn't do.
Right.
Look at what can we do for ourselves.
That's true. Yeah, and I'm with you 100% on that. You're absolutely right. I mean, we have expectations of others, but the bottom line is, what are we doing? And I'm glad you had the courage to say that you from the Deep South and you was not ashamed that somebody gonna ridicule you when you said you had to pull yourself up by your bootstrap. See, Negroes are we so sensitive and silly. Yeah, ain't nothing wrong with saying pull yourself up by your bootstraps. Anybody that got an ounce of sense know what you mean. That mean elbow grease. That mean do for self. That mean make it happen. But now when you say that, people want to get all crazy and talking about, oh, you break your neck, you break your back. Well, you're breaking your neck and your back anyway. So it's just, break your neck and your back, pulling yourself up. So it's good to have a caller like you because you're absolutely right. The president did, I think, the best he could. He did what he did. Can't nobody judge him as it relates to what he could or couldn't do. I mean, we all got our opinions, but the man did him. And some people benefited. And I'm through with that. Are there any other callers? All right, now let me tell you something. Find this thing about this little girl. Now, I want to touch this because put that up there, bro. This week, we had some cranks out here shooting people on the Eisenhower, shooting people in the neighborhood. It's insane. And I'm disgusted with the fact that these people in Chicago seem to be so silly that they can't figure out how to address this type of violence. Now, this little gal here, 22 years old, had her card to buy guns. Now, I ain't blaming her for all of the guns in the street. But when they say, where do they get the guns from? Well, that's where we get the guns from. Little 22-year-old white girl go buy Glocks and all type of other guns, and she bring them to the hood, or whoever she bring them to, and she sell these guns. Now, it's hard for them to believe that. But sometimes it's not as you think. She and others like her that has the legal ability to go get these guns. But then they sell these guns sometime to those in our neighborhood. Just a footnote. It don't explain all of it, but your children are bringing our children some of these guns. Just like you blame our children for bringing your children dope. So let's not judge each other. Let's not be pointing fingers. Let's just pay attention and try to make it better. Now show this other piece with this NRA where they got these kids out here. Now this is an old clip where they got kids on the firing range. Now the reason I want these back to back is because a lot of things are happening. These kids here are 7th graders in school. And you just need to look at that. Those are babies. And those babies are learning to be comfortable with guns. You can cut that out. I didn't get my drift. Now, they tell you, you shouldn't have guns, you shouldn't be around guns. That ain't what they telling their children. And then they got one of their children, she's selling guns. In the street. She buy them legally and sell them illegally. Now, how many of those 7th graders are going to grow up and be like their role model? That don't excuse none of the insanity in our hood. No, it don't. But I just want people to be clear. This street runs both ways. And there's enough potholes on either side for all of us to break our neck. But if we get together and we stop all of this divisiveness and all of this insanity and all of this craziness, we might be able to get through this. Because the next 4 years, come next year, it's going to be different. It's going to be different than what we've experienced. So you need to prepare. And you need to understand that a lot of things you've gotten comfortable with, they probably will change. And unless we are strong enough to get our relatives to stop killing each other, and unless the government is strong enough to get these police to stop killing us the way they do, we're going to have a problem. Because I'm telling you now, young generation, they ain't going to bow down to you police. Here you are, a little 21-year-old boy running around here with a badge, and you jump out of the car in our neighborhood, and you think you can just do what you want to do, making $72,000 a year, and you only been working for 18 months? We should be telling all our children to go to school, get 2 years of college, go get in that academy, become a damn police officer. Where else in this United States can you have a job and in 18 months you be making $72,000 a year? And you riding around in an air-conditioned car, a heated car, with not enough sense to do your job. Those jobs should call for somebody with a master's degree. They should not be doing anything crazy. They get paid enough money that they should be doing things. They should love everybody they see. They should know how to deal with people without creating all of this polarization and all of this hate. Well, y'all, it's been good. And until next time, we out.